for everything that entails. And yeah, we're here.
Finally,
we're here.
A lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and just watching Coach Woody do his magic.
Definitely. Coach Woody and his coaches are doing a lot to bring Wildcat football back to dominance. And we're here for it. We're all here for it, and looking forward to a great season. Mr.
Brother Darold, another day, another year. It's almost surreal, guys, that we sit in this studio tonight, and what a difference a year makes. It was almost a year ago, a little more than a year ago, that we took a phone call one night from one Raymond Woody. You remember
it well.
Remember it well. Little did we know what was about to come to transpire, but here we are, start of the 2023 football season, the 100th anniversary of Bethune-Cookman football. 100 years the Wildcats in maroon and gold have been playing this sport we love, and so we're ready to strap it up. Saturday we kick it off with a big football game up in Memphis, Tennessee. I can't wait.
Definitely. We kick it off in Memphis this Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, guys. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a very long time coming. We've been waiting on it, and it's here now. It is definitely here for us and here for the taking, guys. Ralph?
It's almost as if I'm playing football because I've been around these guys since spring, and I feel good. I feel better now than I felt in the last 2 years because I'm anticipating this because I want to see the product, and I think we got a very interesting product.
A very, very interesting product that we're going to put on the field that we're going to definitely cover tonight and bring everyone who has not seen a practice. The spring game did a lot of justice for our Wildcats, but since then, a
lot have changed. A lot have changed.
There's been quite a few players who've changed their zip code, area code, and now call 386 32119, 32114, 32117 home, and so forth. So, but we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. This is the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Yes, we have changed the name to the Gridiron Show. We're very happy to bring the Gridiron Show to everyone, into your households, and we will discuss that name change here shortly, and it's something that everyone can participate in. All right, guys, that'll take us straight into our SWAC preseason rankings. We see here we have the all-SWAC football team and our predicted order of finish. Keyword predicted. So we'll go right into it. Of course, our preseason offensive player of the year, we'll go straight to that. Jeremy Musa. Opinions?
Well, I guess they based a lot of this on last year's performances, and he had a pretty good year. He's a real good quarterback returning. I think it's probably, for me, talent-wise, it's a 50-50 split. I think Andrew Body is just as equal to Musa for that award. Now, we haven't seen Body yet, the quarterback for Texas Southern. But again, all of this is predicated on last year's
results.
Yep. So we don't know.
Right, definitely so. And our, Sundiata Anderson, which I've been reminded of greatly from my friends from Icon 1901, which is one of the NIL companies that we're working with, named the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Does it
Well, again, based what Larry said is all based on what they did last year. But I think that the Wildcats might have just a couple of people that might.
I want to pause for a moment because, as always, we know this comment section. They're in preseason form. So Miss Virginia Bell said, "Hello, ladies."
Okay, well,
that's a good start. We're off to a good start.
Well,
and then the question was, "Where is Diesel?" And that question came from Jacksonville.
You know that.
Of course.
You know that.
Yeah.
Diesel couldn't make it tonight, but we're hoping to have him on the show here real soon. So yes, he is still on our show, just trying to help Jacksonville recover from the storm and things of that nature. So as we said earlier, we hope everyone's okay, recuperating from the storm. Hopefully everyone's getting their power back on that doesn't have power, and safe and sound throughout the land. So guys, let's go straight into we'll come back and we'll go back to our preseason first team, all SWACs. Let's go down to SWAC East. For FAMU comes in number 1 in the East, Jackson State number 2, Alabama State number 3, Alabama A&M number 4, Mississippi Valley number 5, and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats come in at 6. SWAC West, number 1 Southern, number 2 Alcorn State, number 3 Texas Southern, number 4 Grambling State, and number 5 Prairie View, rounding out the West, Arkansas Pine Bluff at number 6. Comments, guys?
Well, the interesting thing about that, I'm okay with 1 and 2, but even Mississippi Valley got 2 votes for first place. That's interesting to me since.
What about your Wildcats?
Well, I'm not going to even talk about the Wildcats now. I want everybody to think what they think about the Wildcats, because I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
Definitely.
But just the mere fact that Mississippi Valley got 2 first place votes is interesting to me.
I think the East is set up much more clearly than the West is.
Yes.
I don't know. It's always been this year for Florida A&M. It's championship or bust, because their contention has been that once Deion left, they would ascend to the top of the throne. That may happen, may not. That's why you play the football game. We'll get closer to understanding that this Sunday.
Exactly.
But I don't think it's as much separation between those top 3 teams. I think Alabama State is a real sleeper there. They have a big football game this week. I think in the West, the feeling is that the team that is most loaded in the West is Alcorn. Now, whether they can put it all together, don't know. But I think the West is truly open for the taking. A lot of people feel that Texas Southern, this is their year. If they're going to have a year to beat the champion out of the West, it would be this year. So, again, guys, it's all preseason stuff. So we play the football games starting Saturday.
We definitely
starting Saturday.
So that'll take us right down to our, as we've already covered, our preseason SWAC, all SWAC. Musa Anderson as Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, respectively. Out of our Wildcats, on the defensive side, preseason All-American, as we already see it, are all SWAC, Amari Hill Robinson, and I'll call him, preseason All-American also. So let's go ahead and, work on giving him a nod. Guys worked very hard during the spring and our preseason to make sure that he is a great contender in the SWAC.
So proud of that young man. I remember when he came in as one of 2 heralded players from Fort Lauderdale Dillon High School. And what impresses me about Amari is not just his play on the football field, but the fact that he stayed the course, he stayed the process.
Mm-hmm.
The more notoried, highly notoried player was Shanoid White, the All-State defensive tackle from Dillard that year. He stayed at Bethune-Cookman for 1 year. I don't know where he is now. God bless him. I hope he's doing something wonderful. But Omar Hill Robinson has just done it the right way. You know, there's no substitute for hard work, guys.
No.
In life, there's no substitute. And I think this generation needs to really understand that you get rewarded when you put that time in.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly all the accolades that have come his way and those are yet to come his way, he's earned those because he's put the time in and the effort.
He definitely has put the time and the effort in, and I know we'll cover it, but just the whole atmosphere. There's a shift in the atmosphere. We're here in a gospel station, but there's a total shift in the atmosphere at 640 Mary McLeod Bethune. Not just over in the football side of the house, but all around campus, and we'll get to that. Ralph, you wanted to say something?
Well, you know, I saw a piece that they did at Bethune, and this kid, one of the twins, was speaking, and he said the difference between this year and the last 2 years, he said this year is all about winning. And I think if you look at practice, that whole attitude of those kids is different. They're more serious. They're about business. And I think that has a lot to do with the head coach.
Well, and another word in there would be accountability. That's the big word.
Yes.
The accountability
Yes.
is what is really noticeable about this football team.
And not just on the football field.
Right.
Every part of your life around this coaching staff, it's about accountability.
It's accountability, yes.
Players, support staff, supporting fans.
There it is.
You know, I was watching. I don't know whether or not any of you guys watched that thing the University of Florida did.
Swamp Kings.
And one of the things that stuck with me that they said, well, you know, he'll win 5 games off just discipline, and that reminded me of what I was watching at Bethune-Cookman. I was seeing a coach that was putting in and instilling discipline and accountability, and I thought, oh, okay, I see what they're talking about now, because I think this team is focused, the right focus at the right time. I think that's what it is. Focus on the job, on the task at hand, and I think that's what's going to carry us over. But you know, we'll have to wait and see.
Definitely have to wait and see. Fans, go ahead and share the link. We want all our Wildcat fans tuning in to the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show with us. Go ahead and share that link to your family and friends. We're also on YouTube, the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show. Now, let's go to special teams. Our main guy, return specialist Darnell D's preseason first team all SWAC for specialists.
Well, no denying there, but I think he's going to have some company this year, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think that we brought in a couple of guys that could take it back to the house at any given time.
Definitely speed.
To me, Dees is one of the best, but I think we're going to have a couple other guys that can do the same thing as well.
Right, definitely so, definitely. I definitely feel the same way. That'll take us into our Pro First Sports Management SWAC Power Rankings and then our weekly schedule. Coming in preseason, number 16, Jackson State. Number 30, FAMU. Number 62, Southern. Number 66, Alabama A&M. Number 70, Prairie View A&M. Number 71, Alabama State. At number 73, Alcorn State. At number 88, Texas Southern. At 105, Grambling State. 106, Mississippi Valley State. 111, Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And at 113, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Preseason. Computer rankings.
You got to play the game. I think you still got to play.
Oh, no. There's no thinking to it. That's what you have to do.
You got to play the game.
That's definitely what you have to do is play the game, and you know. let business get handled by on the field.
But based on what we did the last couple of years, and especially last year, okay, that's the right ranking. But this is not last year and the year before. This is this year.
Right.
And this is this team, this coaching staff, and I think we're going to surprise some people. But of course, let the naysayers say whatever they like, because you aren't going to change them anyway.
No, not by a long shot. Not by a long shot.
I was just watching. They had the Battle of the Bands in Houston. They had 8 bands there. I'm gonna just show you what.
There you go, Ralph.
No. And they had A&M 7th.
Second from last. The top guys tied. So
yeah, and
was it 7th or 8th?
I think they were 7th. They were 7th.
Right?
I think they put Lincoln behind A&M. So that's people perspective. That's what they see, and that's what they think, and a lot of that is based on bias. Because it's only 2 great bands in this land, and that's BCU and Florida A&M, and everybody else are pretenders.
How are you handling this season? Are you biased this season?
Am I biased?
Yeah.
I'm somewhat biased. I'm biased because I've been there since spring, and I've seen this.
Where, Ralph?
I've been practice with these players since spring, and just watching the coaching staff how they coach, I'm very impressed with that.
I'm going to let you elaborate more on that just shortly. We'll go down the schedule real quick, and then we'll talk about spring practice and so forth and how your summer went. So everyone knows South Carolina State, Jackson State matchup, MEAC SWAC. Jackson State wins that contest 37-7. Tonight, Arkansas Pine Bluff is at Tulsa. That game is just getting underway. So we already know. I think some of the naysayers have said 35-0 final score in that game. So let's move on to Saturday. Grambling at Hampton. That's going to be a pretty good contest.
That should be
what are you taking that one?
See, again, Grambling is all hearsay that they're supposed to be really good. But again, they're going against an ex-MEAC team, so I'm going to go with Hampton in that game.
Hampton, okay. Mr. West.
I like Hampton in that football game also. I really do. I think Grambling will be improved, but from what I've been reading about Hampton, this is one of the better ball clubs that they put together since Joe Taylor has left. So, looking forward to seeing them perform Saturday.
Central State against Mississippi Valley State.
Well, see, this is a new Central State, so I'm going to pick Mississippi Valley in that game.
Well, it's at Mississippi Valley, and it'll be and I would tend to lean toward Mississippi Valley. So,
well, it's actually Soldier Field, I think.
I'm sorry.
No,
in
that's
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They said that. I didn't come over to.
I think Mississippi Valley has. There's a new atmosphere there too. I mean, like you just said about their band, there's 350 members in their band. New coach there also, so
a different classification.
Definitely.
Two.
Exactly. So they should win.
More scholarships, more bodies.
Yeah,
that's why I'm going with
they should win.
Mississippi Valley Delta Devils.
Then we have Southern versus Alabama State. That game is in Montgomery. Dooley the Dresser against the Realtor.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Southern in that game.
I think I'm going to lean with the home team. I think I want to go with Bama State. Southern tends to start a little slower at the beginning of the season. That's what they did last year under Dooley. So I'm going to favor the home team. I know Alabama State is fairly loaded. They got a lot of kids coming back from last year, so I'll go with the home team on this one.
Alabama A&M at Vanderbilt.
I'll go with Vanderbilt. I would say Vanderbilt 35-7.
Hey, I don't know, Larry. Did you get anything from that? Did you Vanderbilt game. Didn't they play last Saturday?
Watch them against Hawaii.
Okay,
Yes.
right. They beat Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Construction in both end zones,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like, the net's being held up by a tractor. and-
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Scoreboard, too, for the most part.
Literally, yeah.
But, yeah, in both end zones. It's,
Vanderbilt's building something.
Yeah.
The coach there, Clark Lee, is a defensive coordinator from Notre Dame. He beat Florida last year, but who didn't toward the end of the year. But I think he's got something there. He really does. And they look really good against Hawaii. I think the score will be a lot more than that. Ralph, I see them putting at least a 50 spot on Alabama A&M. That's what I really think will happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Huge shout out to all our listeners, watchers, tuning in. Big shout out to my boy Dan Witham tuning in with us. Dan is the man. And then we got another Dan I think is going to join us tonight at some point. Of course, our Wildcats travel to Memphis, as we said earlier, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, kickoff 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That game, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. Alcorn against Southern Miss.
I will go with Southern Miss in that game.
Yeah, this is sort of an intersectional game there.
Right.
And you got to go with the FBS school there,
Yep.
Southern Miss.
Prairie View versus Texas Southern. Conference game. Well, technically conference game.
Texas Southern.
And a rivalry game. It's the kickoff classic for them, and Labor Day Classic. I think I'm going to go with Texas Southern because of the proficiency that they have on offense with their quarterback, Andrew Body. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think I'll take the Tigers of Texas Southern over Prairie View.
Let's go to the bottom. Jackson State versus FAMU. 3 p.m. kickoff, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. This Sunday.
I'm going to say this is going to be a toss-up. And the interesting thing about this game is going to be the two schools that pat themselves on the back the most. So it should be very interesting.
So, who is going to be patting themselves on the back? Let's say 7 p.m. Sunday night.
Well, I think we're going to have to wait to see because it's going to be interesting. Because you never know about these two teams because they think both of them think they're the best that ever played the game. So,
Does one have an edge because they got one in?
I think Jackson State. I was extremely impressed with them against South Carolina State, but I was extremely disappointed with South Carolina State because I've never seen them play like that before. So I don't know, was Jackson State that good, which I thought they were very good that night, or was South Carolina State just that bad?
True.
Yeah.
Well, I was very impressed with Jackson State from the standpoint of the trenches, the physicality that they played with. In fact, I'm going to go on record and say what I've been reading as well before. I thought this before I read it. I thought watching that game, that was a better coached Jackson State team than it was last year.
Yes.
I really believe that. I think something that I read, and I don't know how true it is, guys, until I saw it today. A lot of the Jackson people feel, and it's quietly kept, they felt that Deion's offense and that spread was to showcase Shador. They're not running the same offense. Mm-hmm. They're running more of
Control.
a true RPO offense.
Mm-hmm.
That showed the other night too.
And you could see it. You could clearly see it because they came off the football. Mm-hmm. They established the run. There were holes to run through, and then defensively, they still came with the same intensity, bringing pressure.
Yep.
On South Carolina State. So it'll be very interesting to see. I give the advantage in this regard to Jackson State. The question you asked, Daryl, they've got one game under their belt. That's a big plus.
And it wasn't just against anybody, even though they played, subpar. But
they played well. I mean, you could see there's a lot of talent on that Jackson side. I don't even think the Florida A&M people thought that Jackson would fare as well as they did.
I don't think they did either.
I know they didn't. You know, and
because I'm telling you, that quarterback that Jackson State has is very controlled. He doesn't try to go outside of himself. He stick within himself.
Mary and Rouse say three-peat.
Huh?
Mary and Rouse, when our supporters say three-peat. Jackson State.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I was most impressed about with Jackson, other than what we talked about. Their kicking game, their place kicker, was lining up kicking that football, kicking field goals.
Oh, yeah.
From a good distance out.
Oh, for sure.
And so in the special teams, I was very impressed with them in that area. All three phases of the game. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to lean more to Jackson State simply because they have that first one under their belt.
There you have it.
That's where we at.
So week 1, we went through week 0 last week. We're here at week 1 now, and so the deck's on the table. Deck's on the table.
But you know, come Sunday though, we'll have a pretty good idea about the SWAC East.
Oh, for sure.
But can I say one thing, guys? I know the last 2 years, everybody has said the de facto championship for the East was played in Miami. I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case
I don't
either.
think that's going to be the case this year.
No.
I think Bama State's going to surprise some people. I think there's more parity in the conference. I know I look for our Wildcats to really upset the apple cart moving through the year, and some people discounting us. That's fine. I love being discounted.
That's
in
the
that
best.
regard.
That's great.
But I just don't think you're going to find the victor of that football game.
To be the
I don't think so.
top.
I don't think so either.
Right.
I don't think so either. So we'll see. I again, as we always said, you still got to play the game.
You got to put it down and put the football down and run and play the game.
So, guys, the last time I remember, after looking back at our scripts, last time we were here, all right, we discussed some things. We welcomed Coach Woody to campus, all right. On cue. On cue.
On cue?
Yeah. We spoke about staffing. We spoke about facilities. We spoke about expectations. We spoke about administration. We spoke about fans. We spoke about donors. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, guys. Assistant coaches. Coach Woody arrives on campus end of December.
No, February.
Oh, I'm sorry. February. I'm sorry. February.
December.
Where was that?
Let's just say that's not far from you, though.
I got you, Daryl.
Okay, all right. So February. I'm sorry, everyone. February. Contract was signed in February. All right. Assistant coaches.
See, that's where I think we got a leg up, though, because I think Coach Woody has a very good. I think he put in a short period of time. He put a really good staff together, who has a lot of big time experience, and I think that's going to help us out in the long run.
How do you know they have big time experience?
Just read the bio. Just read the bio and where they've been. DJ McCarthy, Stutman, a couple. I can't think of other names. Wimberly. If you look at the coaches and Pimpleton, I mean, look at what they got and just go to their practice and you'll see a big difference.
And then what else did you do? You not only hired one Wildcat as a head coach, you went and got a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
A Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. As your defensive backs coach.
Exactly.
As your corners coach.
So we got quality on both ends. And
it's a very diverse staff.
Very diverse. And you know, even though you could have a lot of talent, but if you ain't got the coaching to get that talent out of them, you have nothing. And I think we finally got that. I think we don't have all the talent we want, but we got the coaching staff to take the kids that we have to make them a lot better than what they were when they got there. So I'm excited about that part of our team. I think that we are very well organized. I think we put a lot of good hard work in, and I think we're going to start seeing the results on Saturday.
I tell you what, since we haven't played a game yet, let's grade it. We'll grade each one of these things real quick to see how far we've come since we first discussed this until this point now.
Okay.
Assistant coaches.
I would say B plus A.
Okay. Larry?
I would really, based on the eye test for me, I would go A minus.
Yeah.
I'm going A minus.
Okay. Let's move on. Facilities.
B plus.
Why B plus?
I think we've done some things since spring. Our field should be ready for us. Both fields should be ready for us within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
What do you mean both, Ralph?
The field by the ATC and the field that we used to have over by the school.
No, that we still have.
That we still have. I'm sorry, but I think Coach Woody is so far out ahead, and he pretty much knows what he wants and where he wanted at. I mean, I think the only thing that we are liking now is a locker room.
So let me ask you this, Ralph. You speak about facilities, and yes, we do still practice at the stadium, but in a short period of time, we will be bringing some practices back
home,
back on campus.
Yep.
Back on campus, at least 3 days a week, from the understanding. You spoke about the practice field, the turf field, John Bryant practice facility. What have you seen from that?
Oh, I've seen people working 12, 13 hours a day to try to get that ready. And I'm pretty sure within another couple of weeks that field's going to be set, ready to go.
40 by 40?
Where is that? I'm confused. What is 40 by 40?
I've never seen that. I mean, even when the grass was growing on it. But
yeah, that field is approximately 85 yards long.
Typical practice field.
Yeah, and
University of Miami.
Right, and it's the same width as a normal football field. I don't know where the 40-40 come from, but
even if it was 40-40, it's what you get out in that area and get out there and do it. Don't matter how long it is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not a stadium.
No.
It's a practice field.
It's a practice field.
And guys, when you pose the question, Daryl, about facilities, I know it doesn't pertain directly to Bethune-Cookman directly, but when you say facilities to me, I have to include what the city has done.
Oh my word! Major. It's been a big teamwork piece, and we've seen it.
Absolutely.
And we've seen it from the start to where it is now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
they have put a lot of money and work.
Not just under, but over.
Literally.
Yeah.
We're talking about above the locker room areas, whatever.
Yes.
So those things going into facilities for me as well.
Yeah. New seats at the stadium.
Maroon
and gold seats.
Oh, those are
little more space. A little more space.
It was time to change those seats out.
Yeah.
It really was. They're out of the weather. They've been out there since Bethune and Dr. Jackson gave the city the money years ago. So it was about time.
But what I was impressed with that, but I was exceptionally impressed with what they did to the locker rooms.
New lockers, new wooden lockers. It almost looks like Camping World.
It does.
Right.
In the locker room.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
New air conditioning system.
Right.
That'll be commended, because I'm telling you, compared to what it was, it's like night and day. Now, maybe a lot of these kids who are with us now may not know, because we have so many players. But the ones who were here, they will know.
Improvements in the parking lot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, new lights up, new LED drainage system, all kind of stuff.
I mean, I think we did all the things that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And in order to give Coach Woody an opportunity to put what he wants to put together, I think he got that. We need some more. We still need our own personal locker room on campus, but I think we're going to get there eventually.
Well, the vision is coming together.
Yes.
You can say, you can easily say that.
Yes.
It's coming together.
You mentioned and real quick, before we move on. You mentioned the grass practice field. We'll call that the grass practice field. What's happening over there?
A lot of work has gone into that field. We're spreading dirt on it. We're planting seeds. That's going to be a beautiful field once they finish it. But that's on campus, and that's where Coach wants to be, on campus.
So you'll have 2 fields.
We'll have 2 fields. Yeah. So all that's coming to the final stage here. And
huge shout out to our former Bethune football players for
yes, they
making that happen.
Yes.
Amongst some other people that we'll discuss here shortly.
Well, again, it's like they said, it just takes a village to raise a kid. Where it takes people coming together to get things done, and that's what the football players and a lot of other people outside of football has done for Bethune-Cookman. But we still aren't there. We just got to keep working on it. We got to put more into it.
What's your grade?
I would give them an A-.
That would be my grade as well. Mine as well.
Yeah, A-, easy.
And to go by and watch the turf field on campus.
Yeah.
Put down step by step. I mean, the drainage, everything. I mean,
it's going to be a first-class field.
No doubt about it.
It's not something they just throw it together.
No,
it's well thought out. Yeah.
Well thought.
Yeah.
Let's talk about fundraising.
That's always interesting at Bethune-Cookman University. Which part you want to cover? let me say this. Let me say this. See what everybody at Bethune-Cookman University, all the alumni and everybody, what they have to understand, the landscape has changed in college football. And if you're not familiar with NIL, name, image, and likeness, it's a lot bigger than what a lot of people know.
Unfortunately, that's football.
Yeah, it's football. See, it's not like you go out and tell a kid you're going to do all of this for him when he come to your university. Yeah, you could do all that, but the second question for that kid is going to be, how much?
Yeah.
How much?
How much?
So it's changed. This whole thing has changed. I mean, when the coach from Alabama said that Texas A&M bought their team,
right?
People didn't understand what he was talking about. But those of us that are familiar with NIL, we knew exactly what he was talking about.
Definitely so, Ralph. Now let's go to. We'll come back to NIL. Let's go to team fundraising. Things that, as you said, the landscape, just even outside of NIL, like we need cleats. We have to do this, and this to make this work.
And that's outside of school funding.
That's outside of school funding.
And see, again, people don't understand that either. I mean, school funds so much stuff, and all the rest of that stuff has come from outside funding. People donating. And I think Mr. Bryant is probably one of our biggest donors.
Definitely so.
You know, he's done a tremendous job in terms of helping Bethune-Cookman University football team out. But we need other donors. We need other people to understand what it needs if you're going to put a championship team together.
Gotcha. And so, is there
and don't forget about our friends in Jacksonville.
Right. So you say there's other things that are possibly needed, right?
Yep.
So discuss some of those things, if you can, Ralph.
Okay, in terms of buying rain suits for all the coaches. Of course, we live in Florida and it rains all the time. So, you know, up to this point, the coaches never had rain suits. So now they have rain suits. Just we always had travel bags for the football team, but we never had enough, and now we have enough. And all that, folks, come from donations. All that comes from people just giving. A lot of the football players and people outside of who played football have been donating for those causes and making those things happen. But again, the landscape has changed.
I want you to speak towards something else.
Okay.
And I speak to this club or something that
the Gridiron Club.
Tell me about the Gridiron
Okay,
Club.
so the Gridiron Club is really it has two things it's trying to accomplish. So the Gridiron Club is part NIL and then part of just alumni joining an organization to help the football team out. Now, the Gridiron Club is not all Bethune-Cookman athletics. The Gridiron Club is only for football only. And every 80 to 90% of all the funds that we collect goes directly to the football program.
So,
and secondly, the Gridiron Club is not affiliated with Bethune-Cookman University.
Since the Gridiron Club's inception, Ralph, what has happened? You spoke earlier in regards to you pretty much on Fridays had a 9-to-5 job. Speak to that a little bit, Ralph.
Well, see, since spring practice ended, the Gridiron Club has been cooking for the football team every Friday. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, our last big cookout was a week ago, where the Gridiron Club fed 230 athletes. That was volleyball, football, basketball, softball, and women's basketball.
Out at the stadium.
After
the football service.
Yeah, and that's what the Gridiron Club does. So
it's up on the screen right now, but how can I join, Ralph? I want to be a part of it. I got to be a part of it.
Well, I think it's about 4 different...
quite a few.
Quite a few that you... It's different. It's different packages.
Levels.
Yes, different levels that you can join. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it starts at 100 and go up to 1,000. 150 to 1,000.
That's the basic membership.
Yeah.
If you're a student, even students can join. That's the Cubcat member, and it is yearly. So $50 for students, and then the next level for regular fans are $150, and it goes up.
It goes up, and each level goes up. The person that joins gets something in return. Like, we'll have the Gridiron Club will have tailgate parties every home game. Depending on what level you join, you get T-shirts. I don't know.
There's going to be a lot of events. There's some
Right.
plans now being made for our home games to have mixers prior to the home games on Friday nights for those fans that come in. There will be engagements, events that are held where Coach Woody, players will be in attendance, SWAC commissioner, and some other high-profile guests that will be in attendance to those events. So there are a lot of things going on with the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. Hence, the name of our new show is the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Show, powered by the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. This organization strives to be the backbone of Bethune-Cookman football.
Exactly.
And we're looking to grow it even into other sports. And, we're hoping to have each sport to have their own club or organization to back them. So become a part of the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. As Ralph said, there's been a lot of things that have happened that the Gridiron Club has sponsored, but we cannot do it without you fans. We cannot do it without you. This is a whole new landscape for Bethune-Cookman football, for Bethune-Cookman athletics, and we all know the coach, where Coach Woody came from. So go on, join. www.hwgridironclub.com. We look forward to you joining membership, and go to the membership tab and join in. While we're on that, Ralph, let's talk about NIL. Let's talk about NIL. I know you're going to kind of lean towards me on that, but
I am.
So a month or so ago, the Gridiron Club brought in the Icon 1901 group. They are an HBCU collective that's helping with NILs. As you said earlier, there is nothing that, you basically can't field a football team without
NILs.
That's your recruiting. Yeah. That's a lot of recruiting. Unfortunately, ever since the NCAA made it legal to assist players legally, there are rules behind it, but to assist players legally, it's the powering force behind college athletics.
Well, if you look at Jackson State they flipped that whole team. In fact, they had 53 new players on that team, and a lot of those players came from Power 5 schools, but Jackson State had the NIL in position for those players, and those players aren't coming until you tell them that the NIL is available for them and give them an idea of how they're going to play into it. But
so I have a question. So the Gridiron Club removed the boosters, and we'll go back to that question. No, the Gridiron Club did not remove the boosters. The boosters are for Bethune-Cookman Athletics.
That's Bethune-Cookman affiliate, but
right.
I mean, we don't have
the Gridiron Club is specifically to support the football team.
Yeah, and the boosters sort of like support everybody,
all sports.
But the Gridiron Club, we just solely football,
right?
For now,
yeah.
For now,
right?
Yeah,
right. Speak on the 1904 collective. That is the NIL collective for Bethune-Cookman Athletics.
Right.
But there is one specifically for Bethune-Cookman football, and that's the 1923 Society.
Right.
Why the 1923 Society?
It was when we started playing football.
So 100 years.
Yeah.
100 years. We've been playing football here at Bethune-Cookman for 100 years.
Yeah.
Our NIL is the 1923 Society. By joining at a certain membership into the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club, you can also become a member of the 1923 Society, and be a part of that collective. It is a for-profit collective to be able to support our players, and they definitely need the support. But let's get something out just so everyone will know the basis of NIL. It's not free money.
No.
You got to do something to get something. Yeah. So with that being said, we can sponsor our players. They can show up to events, things of that nature, do promos for businesses, do promos for, our fans and things of that nature. That's what that NIL goes to. It's to help support them because we want them to focus on football to make our Wildcats a perennial powerhouse. That's what we want. We don't want them having to go to work. Their schedule's already tight enough. So look more into it. We encourage you to become a part of the Gridiron Club and also the 1923 Society. So if you need more information, go on our website, hwgridironclub.com. Community events. I tell you what, grade the Gridiron Club, or let's see, club participation. Club, what we're doing as a club.
What we're doing as a club?
Yeah.
Thus far, I would say A. I would like us to be A+, but we're at A because we can only do so much with the funds that we have.
Right.
And I'm sure that a lot of people, probably until tonight, wasn't familiar with the Gridiron Club.
It's been out for a month or so, but tonight is our true unveiling of it and pushing it. But it has been in operation for some time now.
Yeah, but we still need people to join and become a part so that we could do even more for the football team. Try to get Coach Woody what he needs and when he needs it.
Right.
I mean,
it's no more of the and not to knock anyone, but going through the red tape doesn't work at where we're trying to go to in football.
See the difference though, where you got a booster club and you got the Gridiron Club. Is absolutely nothing wrong with the booster club, but with the Gridiron Club,
a part of
right? But the Gridiron Club is Coach Woody says I need this or that, and then he got it within a couple of days. Right. I mean, that's the way it works. We don't have to go to anybody to get approval. He gets it.
Right.
Yeah, you know. So with the booster club, which I'm not saying anything negative about them.
And we have people a part of the Gridiron Club.
Yeah, that's a part of the booster club.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
But the booster club is supporting all sports.
Right.
And it has to go through a chain of command before those funds is allocated. With the Gridiron Club, we don't have a chain. If Coach wants it, we gets it.
Right.
We go ahead and get it for him.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
In a timely manner.
Yeah.
So.
In a timely manner.
And so, just so everyone understands, while we're talking about this, we have a head football coach who,
well, Woody won it yesterday.
2 days ago.
Yeah. He is probably one of the most demanding people.
Smart, fast, physical, and aggressive.
And he really means that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he does it every day.
Yes.
So.
And on time.
And more importantly, on time.
On time.
Yeah. You got
10 minutes before time is too late.
Yeah. Doors are locked.
Yeah. So that's just some of what we're doing with our clubs, and we want you to be a part of it. Let's go to real quick. A lot of community events about to happen. As I said, we're trying to work on things before the home football games. It will be a smaller mixer this year for each home game, but we're working on some things with the city and different businesses throughout the community to make it a big thing before home games. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Now, let's talk about some of the things that... Let's go to season ticket purchases real quick. Tickets
are on sale. They're available, and I know people are always saying they can never get
a hold of the ticket office.
Nobody ever answers the phone at the ticket office, but usually if you get there by 10, somebody's always there.
Yeah, he does give you the hours. He's like, I'm there from 10 to such and such.
And he's going to go to lunch, and I'm telling you, he's going to go to lunch at 1, and he's not going to be back until 2.
But he'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, he'll get you. I mean, I went up there and got my parking pass, and really it didn't take me that long. He was there waiting. But they got a new thing going on at the stadium in terms of parking. Now, I just got my letter today, and what they're saying, if you bought a parking pass, you got to be there. You got to be there. Try to be there 3 hours before the game time. They'll guarantee it, but they won't guarantee your parking spot after the game starts. So, if you buy a parking space, you need to get there early. I guess they're working with some type of company that's going to restructure how you park there now, so they can get more cars in. That's what, at least that's what the letter that I received said. Yeah.
Gotcha. So.
Well, I think we said a lot in a very short time, and I hope people understand. If they have any questions, they can get back with us, because the Gridiron Club and the NIL is real and it's functional, and we aren't as good as we want to be with it, but we got to get better, and we can't get better without your support. So that's what we're looking for.
I got a comment from our girl. Ticket office needs help. That's coming from Coach Price.
Well, you know, that was also in my letter too, that the athletics say, yeah, we're not really involved with tickets, but we're here to help you with tickets. I didn't understand that one, but anyway. Yeah, I didn't even understand the letter, if you want to know the truth, but anyway. They're trying to get better. and you can't criticize people trying to get better, I guess. I guess.
That's what I was going to say again. He said, hey, guess. Guys, let's move forward, guys. We're here talking about Wildcat football. We got Wildcat at the helm of our Wildcats. What should we expect in the 2023 season?
I'll let Larry go first.
When you say expect, you're not talking about over under as far as wins and losses.
No. I don't want, because we got people who think we're going to finish last.
We're on the same page then. What I am expecting, and I would say this in earnest for those who are Wildcat supporters and who've not seen as much practice as we've seen, I expect that we will see a very well organized and operated football team. And by that I mean we will be functional in all three phases of the game. And most importantly, don't look for all of those penalties that were associated with us for the past few years. I think we're going to be much more efficient in how we operate as a football team.
Steve, you didn't have to go that low, man. But I concur, Larry. And why do you say that? Do you say that because you just, you like Coach Woody? That's why you say that.
I say that you call me the professor, and I'm not going into all of that. But here's what I do know. Yeah, I had a chance to teach for a good long time at the collegiate level. Coaching is teaching. Show me a great teacher, I will show you a great coach. And so it is a process. You don't get there overnight. People say practice makes perfect. No, perfect practice makes perfection. And that's what we're dealing with. You can practice all day long and do it the wrong way. It'll show up that way on the football field. What we are seeing right now is a ball club that has not only been reinvented in terms of the roster, the culture from the spring. The culture is reinvented. How we do things. There's a right way and a wrong way. We talk about the fact that there's no I in team. People say that. But when you see a team that's a team, they play for each other. They lift each other up. There's nobody standing out to be dressed differently, to do his thing. None of that.
What do you mean by that? I mean,
what I mean by
tell
that.
Me,
Daryl, what I mean.
I've been out of town. I don't know what you mean, but I know you guys have been at practice. Tell me what you mean by dressed the same way.
Well, everything is part of the process. You have to earn everything, and that's what I love about it. Each practice is graded. We would go to practices for years. Well,
I'm turning this microphone.
I'm talking about with other programs as well, not just us.
Right.
But they always say iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. When you practice and compete for positions every single day,
right,
that's the process of helping you become a winner. And that's what is being implemented right now. And that has not been seen at Bethune-Cookman, for me, since the Wesley Moore era. That's the last time I saw this. I didn't even see this with Brian Jenkins and Terry Simmons. I didn't see this. This is totally different.
It is.
I mean,
it's totally different.
What Larry's saying, it's not just on the football field. I mean, like Ralph said, you got to be early to meetings. It's
part of the culture. It's what everything that you do is to support the culture of doing it the right way.
12 to 2 is that cookout. You get in line, be in line. If you're not supposed to be there,
you see it in the behavior. Yes, sir. No, sir. How they respond. They're very appreciative when you do. I mean, the kids are just remarkable. I'm not trying to overstate this. Right. What I'm trying to say is that this is how you build something that's very special, that will sustain itself even in a football game. In a football game. You will win games more when you do things the right way.
Discipline.
And it's not just like I said on the field. Like this year, I have not seen a student athlete vehicle other than support staff,
That's right.
trainers at that stadium.
Nope. They ride the bus together,
Including the coaches.
including the coaches.
When that bus leave campus, offense on one bus, defense on that bus.
That's right.
And you better be on it by the time it leave, or
Or you get left.
and don't
if you-
show up
and if
there on
you-
your own.
And you get left, you don't want to get left. Not with this coaching staff. You don't want to get left.
I don't mean to overstate that I just stated. But the fact of the matter is, I've seen a lot of great football teams with great talent
Right.
lose to schools with far less talent but greater cohesion, organization, and teamwork. That's what we're building here. This is something that nobody in the SWAC is going to understand about Bethune-Cookman when they see Bethune-Cookman.
And that's why we stay quiet, let them say what they want to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you see it every day, what we see,
It's beholding to the eyes. I can tell you
It
that.
is.
Guys, we've seen a lot of football practices together over the years, okay? And right now, when I go to practice, I feel like I'm at church, okay?
Yeah,
I want
pretty
to
much,
say
yeah.
hallelujah. I want to say amen. Because you see all the input, the teaching constantly. Everything is correction and teaching it the right
every
way.
aspect of it. We hear the radio traffic and all that, and hey, call this period. This period is such and such from the schedule, and everything is fast paced. There is no walking. We get in, we get out. Do your job.
It's interesting to me that he has a plan, he sticks with it, and he doesn't deviate.
At all.
He doesn't deviate.
From, as you said earlier, down to the uniform.
Yeah. I mean, before, people pretty much wore what they wanted to wear at practice. Well, you wouldn't get away with that now because you get sent back to the locker room.
Shade? What shade?
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, you look at the game of football. It's got 11 people on the football field. It's an assignment sport.
Right.
And what this culture is teaching, do your job. Because when you do your job, your teammates can trust you
Right.
to know that if you're doing your job and they're doing their job, it's going to minimize
A-okay.
it's going to minimize the mistakes.
We're A-okay.
It's like last year we used to say, we don't have not one leader on this team.
Nah.
We don't have one leader on the team. Last year we had not one leader. Now go out there now.
And those guys are having fun
Yeah.
while doing it.
You got players correcting other players.
The beauty of this is this, for me. The beauty of that is this. These lessons that are being taught are not merely for the football field. They're lessons for life.
For life.
And how you live your life and how you go about interacting with other people
And what
in
does
a
it say?
civilization, in a society.
You guys are professionals. That's what you hear at the end of practice.
Yeah.
And if you do it the wrong way, no knock on anybody, but that's the old way.
That's the old way.
That's not our way.
That's the old way. That is the old way.
And then you hear some numbers behind it. That's that kind of way, the last two seasons record. So there was a comment on here that, fans, the roster has been updated with numbers. If you go on the current roster, it is updated. So go on the Cookman website under football roster. That has, for the most part, they are getting that updated, as we speak. So
Yeah, but guess what? With the roster and the numbers,
oh yeah,
you have to earn your number.
oh
That's
yeah.
what Coach
You have to
said.
earn. Everything is earned, okay? No, it's no longer, I want number one, I want number this. No, you have to earn the number you get. You're going to see the roster. You may see the roster with names and no numbers. I don't know what that means. I can't speak to that, but I know the players that have numbers, and those numbers have been earned. Great article in the paper this morning about Bethune-Cookman from Raymond Woody's perspective. Part of what we're talking about tonight, the expectation. And everything is about teaching and learning and earning your way. There's no freebies in life. You got to get out there and make it for yourself. You got to get out there and earn it in life. And that's real life. That's real life.
That's real life.
It is.
That's connecting the dots.
It is.
And you know, and I know this generation today, they didn't get what we got years ago when you had to earn your way. They've had a lot of things handed to them.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting a real life lesson right now.
Well, no, they're getting a very valuable lesson
Absolutely.
that they're going to be able to use for years to go. I mean, and you know, I mean, in corporate America, if they tell you a meeting's at 10, you need to be there at 9:40.
Exactly.
Because they hate lateness. Because lateness is a sign of disrespect.
And like you said earlier, I mean, we saw, you saw it. I mean, I saw the beginning of it, but you can be dismissed from practice.
Well, I've seen that.
I saw it Super Bowl Sunday when we had all that food. and them kids wasn't even worried about the food. They were trying to get
that room. They was trying to
get in the room because what it was.
That room ain't no joke.
Yeah.
That room is no joke.
I mean, guys was shaking your head and they was keep walking to that room. I got to get to that room.
I got to get to the meeting.
Got to get to the room. But again, and again, I hate. I'm not. First of all, I'm not a University of Florida person, but I did see the documentary. I learned a lot of things from that.
Thank God, Ralph. I'm proud of you.
I learned a lot from that. And one of the things that was kept emphasizing was being together, being on time, and being responsible. And I said, damn, that's the same thing we're doing at Bethune. The same thing that Urban Meyer said he needed to build that team is the same thing that we're doing at Bethune.
Since you mentioned it, 14-3 Utah.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
5:49 left in the second quarter.
I called that one.
But the other part of that, in terms of, you know, what's being built by the coaching staff, is that when you look at this roster now as it's constructed, it's totally overhauled. We're starting 19 new players for the football game Saturday against Memphis State. Don't look at this roster and think that it's devoid of talent. There's talent there. What you have probably noticed, though, is whereas before we would get everybody's leftovers and they would be this and they would be that and how great they were. They might have been great in terms of the stars by their name, but character-wise, they weren't so great.
They were lacking in character.
Even after we rehauled the roster, there was still even some changes after that. Absolutely. Because of things that, you know, we won't speak of, but, you know, some things that wasn't on the football team and neither was it on the student athlete. But, you know, we've had to even repair that. And here we are today with, you know, a very, very, very decent roster. I mean, we still have young men coming in.
We do.
We still have young men.
But think about it, though, and what other Wildcats supporters need to understand, Woody was hired after the recruiting cycle. Everybody had been picked over.
Right.
Woody came after the recruiting cycle, and think about it. We got maybe 4 quarterbacks that either one of them could be the starter.
Yes.
Either one of those kids could be the starter. And that's the luxury that we have. And that's just also the hard work that Woody and his staff put in from spring until now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins with Don Shula, when he took over a ragtag operation of the football team at Miami. And he came up with something as Miami began to win, the no-name defense.
Yeah.
Had nobody that anybody knew on the defense.
That's right.
That no-name defense became the perfect Dolphins who won back-to-back Super Bowls. when you look at this roster, when you look at the Bethune-Cookman roster, it's like a bunch of no names.
Very good, Larry. That's a good one.
You may not know the names, but you're gonna see when you're gonna know them before it's over. Before it's over, you're gonna know the names by their play.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And that's basically what I was trying to get to. Yeah.
I think we got Fry Daddy on the phone with us. Mr. Bell, are you in with us?
Wait, now I'm Fry Daddy?
Oh my God. Jerry, you got to get him on that one, bro.
No, bro.
He called you Fry Daddy.
Bro, hey, for the longest, last year, I used to be known as the French Fry Band. So now,
Jerry was working those fries.
He was working those fries.
I didn't realize he was working those fries.
Remember that there was a skit on a long time ago on In Living Color. Damian Wayans was talking about, he was a militant. He was a militant, and he's like, they got me on fries. So I worked my way up. One day I'm gonna sit in the big chair on Wildcats Gridiron Show as soon as I graduate from fries.
Oh, welcome on, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, welcome, man. Glad to have you on for another season, brother.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
What's your expectations, Jerry, for this season?
So I'm excited about the season because I think it's all a mystery. So to be able to watch it unfold is that's where my excitement is. And I'll tell you this: we kind of just came out of a pattern in which there was very little hope. We just kind of didn't expect much from the program, didn't expect much from the team. You guys already said it. We had some guys with some names and some stars and some talent around them, but there was very, very, very little confidence that we could translate any of that into good football and wins on the field. I think this year, my expectation is the team that we see on third Saturday in November is going to look drastically different than the team that we're going to see this upcoming Saturday night. And I don't mean different as in different players. I mean the evolution and the growth of what we'll see, the things that we know that we'll take the lessons from week one and actually come in with a plan of action to actually grow from those things that we can grow from. Figure out what we do well, figure out the things that we did wrong, and then what we see in week 2 is going to be an evolution. And what we see in week 3 is going to be an evolution from that. And so what I'm most excited about is to see just the growth in this program, to see a coaching staff that's not okay with mediocrity, a coaching staff that demands excellence, that demands accountability, and a coaching staff that, quite frankly, again, that will help this team and this program grow and evolve into what we all wanted to be, and that's a winning program.
Totally agree with you, Jerry.
So well stated. I was sitting there, Jerry, as you were talking. I think most anybody who's been to school before, I don't care whether it's public school, private school, college, you can remember a time being in a classroom where you got an A in a class, and you didn't really have to work hard for that A. You got the A. You didn't learn anything from the A. And there's some other classes that you took where you had to bust your chops. And you might have only gotten a C out of it. But boy, you appreciated that C because you got so much of yourself into that C because you put something into it. That's what these young men are showing. And when you mention that statement about how we look this Saturday versus how we look at the end of this football season, because that's because of the process that every day throughout this season, when we have practice, it's going to be like iron sharpening iron. It's competition every day, not just on Saturdays, but through practices every week, because they're grading everything, they're watching everything. The accountability is going to continue to grow and grow and grow. That's how you build culture. That's how you build a program that's sustainable. And that's what's going to happen with us. You see it already in terms of what we've seen from the start of fall camp, the first week in August, to where we are right now. We've been going out there every week, guys. you'll see the growth in this ball.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's as clear as night and day.
And I'll tell you this, one of the things that I'm really excited about, and just to kind of let the fans out there know, you guys are hearing us talking about, Coach Woody and accountability and that sort of thing. Coach Woody coaches hard, but he doesn't just coach his players hard. He coaches his coaches hard. And so when we talk about accountability, you see Coach, he is holding his coaches accountable for everything. And I'm not even just saying, hey, your guy ran the wrong route. It is, we're 15 minutes into this period. 10 minutes into this period. We should be at, it's time to move on to the next thing. Or, we kind of deviated from the script. Or why do we deviate from it? It's every little detail, and no one gets excluded from the process.
Nobody.
Coaches. Yeah, everybody
staff,
gets
nobody.
Turn around in the stands.
What? The hands go to flinging around.
In the stand watching practice. Yeah. I think you flushed that Larry one time for drinking water. You told him to get some Gatorade in the stands.
Hey, and not just that, Jerry, like you say, like even during our cookouts, I mean, you got a coach who's out there serving food to the players, keep the line moving.
Keep it It's amazing. Detail.
You gotta love the detailedness and the selflessness of it. Because, here's a guy who's willing to lead, but he's also right there rolling his sleeves up, helping his kids, serving food, etc.
Oh, man. So much
He's not asking them to do something that he wouldn't do.
Exactly.
And he really cares about those guys, too. He really does. And not saying that any other person didn't, but it's different. It's like really, really, really different.
Man, I can't contain myself. I'm telling you guys, I'm sitting there watching this as we've been watching this, and I can't wait for the season to start Saturday. And I'm not just looking at one game. I'm talking about the evolution of this process as it moves down the road. Because when you see something being done the right way like this, it's going to pay dividends. Those dividends are going to be very, very handsome at the end.
Guys, let's go down real quick. I know we're talking about what to expect. We'll go each position real quick. Quarterbacks, as you say, Ralph, we have 8 in the room.
Yeah, we have 8, but I see 3, maybe 4 that could start, and I don't think we have a problem.
So, and I know Jerry and I talked about this, but when we see 8 in one meeting room, you're like, oh, you got too many quarterbacks.
No, you never have too many, but
let's go to FBS football and see how many FBS quarterbacks are in the room.
Well, yeah, you got an FBS head coach too, though.
Right.
So he's thinking
say
FBS, not FCS.
Say that again for all the other teams that are in the SWAC that aren't in the state of Florida, because Willie Simmons knows, but what we have, but those other ones are.
Well, we got a FBS head coach coaching in the FCS conference. So he's thinking
with
FBS.
Assistants that came from the same
assistants that came from exactly. So 8 quarterbacks. When Woody came out of the spring, he said, "I don't have enough quarterbacks." And he had 5.
What did he say? He said, still get enough.
I gotta get somebody to spin it. But and then he took 2 of those quarterbacks from the spring and switched their positions.
Switched their position.
And brought in 3 more quarterbacks.
Yes.
And like I said, I think we got 3 or 4. One of them that I'm really, really, really excited about.
Don't say no name.
I'm not going to call the name. We can get him on the field.
They'll know.
If we get him on the field, lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out. But then I think the other 3, I think they're just as good. We're going to see the young kid who's from Delaware State start Saturday.
Talik Bethea.
And I think he probably threw just as good a pass as anybody I've seen in college football.
And then it's the guy behind him, right behind him.
Yeah. So, again,
one of the number 1 quarterbacks in JUCO.
Yeah, coming into this season, quarterback in my mind is not one of the things I'm concerned about, because I think we got it covered. I think Coach Woody got it covered, and he knew he had to cover it, and he did it. So here we go.
Well, how many times over the years, guys, have we pleaded for a quarterback coach? Which we never had. Okay,
We got.
Boy, do you have one now.
We have
Before
one.
we talk about the quarterbacks, having a quarterback coach
We have one.
who really knows what he's doing, and so when you go in that meeting room, and he's a teacher, and he's working with those kids, and you watch how they work in group sessions.
And you say like, oh, well, I thought camp was over, but they're still doing things that
Absolutely.
you know, during game prep that you usually see just in camp.
Yeah.
And not to bring up the past, but I kept saying to myself, how do you play football and you don't have a coach for the guy who has the ball 90% of the time?
Right.
You know, it doesn't even make any sense to me.
Never
You know?
did. Never
It does,
did.
it does.
But we don't have to worry about this year, and I think, like I said, the teaching, the tutelage that they're getting, the skill sets that they bring, the fact that they get equal reps. I don't think those 3 quarterbacks that perhaps are slated to play this weekend, I don't think the moment will be too big for them.
No.
I think they'll be
I
ready.
don't think so either.
I think they'll be ready to play.
Yeah.
Running back, Coach Pimp.
Well, you got an excellent running back coach. I think we got speed at the running back. I kind of wish we had a little bit more size, but we'll get there. But we got tons of speed and talent back there in the running back spot. I would give that, I would say B+ with the running backs.
What I'm looking at with this running back room
It's
is a little
sneaky.
bit difference. A little bit of a difference.
Yep.
What we have in that running back room is eyes,
Oh, vision.
vision.
Yes.
People who can see the hole, get to the hole, and make people miss.
Yep. We got
And
that.
we got that.
We got that.
And turn that corner.
And exactly, we got
We
that.
got that.
Real quick question. Want to answer Marcus Aldridge. Coach Gerbino is also the quarterback coach, and
He's a tactician.
Folks,
Yes.
let me just say,
We finally figured it out.
Let me just say this, and I'm not taking the top off of the cake, but get ready for this guy to outcoach some folks in this league. You would get ready when I say get ready. Watch what you see happen when this guy, who's like a mad scientist, begins to unwrap his offense. It's going to be something to behold.
he does it with ease.
He does.
Well, because he lives it. He
Right,
lives it.
yeah,
He
yeah.
sleeps. He lives it. I mean, again, I'm going into this season. I'm not worried about the quarterback position, and we haven't had this luxury since Brim and Williams was there.
I'm right there with you, Ralph.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you guys this. You're talking about both Gerbino and the running back, the last
barely hear
position you graded. You can barely hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You might
All right, good deal. All right, so just, we talked about running backs who have speed, who have eyes, who can make guys miss. How important is it going to be for running backs to be able to catch the ball in this system?
Very. One of the most important things. One of the most important things to make the RPO go. Very important. And that is something that they have to do and have been working on to make happen. And get your head around quick.
And I'm telling you this. These guys are not household names, but they can make you miss
Yet.
in close quarters. You sometimes you see a running back and you don't realize he got you 5 yards. It doesn't look like he got you 5 yards. When they put that down marker down, you say, dog, he got 5 yards out of that. Those are the kind of backs that we have on this roster.
Definitely.
Yep.
Stay on schedule. It's what we have not done over the last couple of years. And it's like, I think I talked your ear off about that, right?
Jared,
How many
Boy, I'm
times we've
telling
been
you.
in a
that's it.
second down and 6,
I tell
and because you got 5 yards in front of you to get the first down, but instead you want to try to be hero, and not next thing you know, you look up and it's 30 left. Those things kill you as an offense. And so these guys seem to be more, take what's there, make a guy miss, always get positive yards, keep you on schedule.
Pretty much. Yep.
And that stay on schedule counts on the sideline too with the coaches.
Absolutely.
I think
it's still a mathematical game, guys. It's 100 yards to get you to pay dirt, okay? If you're staying on schedule and you matriculate that football by getting first downs and not being behind the chains, you got a far better chance of scoring points as opposed to trying to make up odd down and distances that have you playing from arrears.
With this team, with the coaching staff, if you don't stay on schedule, you don't stay on staff.
No, that's it.
That's what it looks like.
That's it. That's it.
That's just all to it.
That's what it looks like. But again, I'm excited about the quarterbacks and just the offensive coordinator. So I think we're going to be okay.
Wide receivers. Coach Walker.
See, Coach Walker is he's sort of relatively new. I think he's going to be okay. I'm not quite sure. I know we got two excellent receivers, and I'm not quite sure about the other guys. I think they're there, but just from my perspective,
we're still growing them. And what happened with that? That was the last coaching change that we had. It was kind of in the middle of the stream, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Guys, we got some hidden gems in that wide receiver room.
Oh,
I'm telling you, we really do.
We do.
We haven't seen them yet. I mean, but when you look at their pedigree and what they've done in other places, I thought going in that was a scary room for me because I didn't think it was much talent there.
Right.
After having done my homework and looked carefully at this, trust me when I tell you this, we got some guys who can not only catch it, but some of these guys will take it to the house on you real quick.
Oh yeah, stretch the field.
Yeah, we got some young guys that I think is going to be fantastic. Actually,
I know we should group them together, but tight ends. I think we should. Usually you group them with the wide receivers. Where you at tight ends? DJ McCarthy.
See, you got an excellent coach there who's been around and coached at some big places, and I think he got 2, maybe 3 tight ends. I think either one of those guys can start. Actually, the guy that I'm really, really excited about is the guy that used to be a quarterback,
Navanye Moore.
Yes,
I know Ralph asked about him earlier, but
Yeah.
That's a scary H-back
really
/ tight end.
That's what I'm saying.
Who can also double as a quarterback.
Yes,
also.
Yeah. And he's a lefty.
And can catch that football. You wouldn't think of him as being a former quarterback with the ability to run after he has that football.
But he does.
But he's very, very, very
Take that top off, bro, and
yes, he can.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
He did not want to go over there. And now when you talk to him,
he looks like a natural.
Yes,
you know
he does. He
looks like a natural over there.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, definitely. Offensive line.
Well, I think we got some horses over there. I'm excited about the offensive line, but I'm more excited about the offensive line coach.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean,
we won't do it, but if we needed another player, we got one.
We can line him up.
And it ain't gonna be pretty for the defensive lineman.
As Grandma said, he can get the butter from the duck.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Coach B. Wash.
That line, you remember now when we played spring game, I think we only had 5
6,
offensive
I think it was something.
Now we got 14, and we got size. And
3 deep.
Yeah, we
3
3 deep there. Again, I mean, it goes back to the tremendous job that Woody and his staff accomplished in a very short period of time. And they got quality. They didn't just go out and get bodies. They got quality bodies. Yeah.
Well, the other thing for me is with that line and everybody today, and college, high school, even many of them in the pros, are running a variation of the RPO.
Right.
But what's very different about, and we've run RPO before, but
Yes.
this is a little bit different RPO because not only do we zone block, we read it a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
Much like Wake Forest
Right.
with their zone read. And then when they're reading it that long, they'll pop up and pass, or that quarterback will go out the back door
Yes,
on you,
sir.
and those backs will pop through there really quick. It's going to be a very different design from what we've seen in the past.
Well, it's just they put more into it.
Of
And
course.
then what they did, they took the talent that they have and then
Run it the right way.
Yeah, built the offense around the talent instead of trying to work outside of that.
What you got, Jerry?
I think some of that, you talk about holding the way they run their RPO and just kind of, in the old triple option, terminology, you used to talk about riding the running back, right? Riding the fullback.
Right.
Keeping it in there. But you can't do that if you're not good at your guard center guard.
That's
and I think,
right.
Yeah.
those inside, guys that we have now with, Antoine Wells and the Loving kid that transferred in, and so that's the kid that came in from FIU. I think what you have now is not only all those guys are well over 300 pounds, but they have good feet, good athleticism,
Great punch.
and they can actually move some guys. So some of that is you can say ride the fullback, but if the center is in the quarterback's lap, that's a good theory. It's not going to happen. But if you've got guys who can get some guys moving in a direction, that quarterback can hold that in there. And I think with those guys that we have in there now, again, both from a size standpoint and some of the technique, they're having good feet. They allow you to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the worst thing in the world for any running game, especially an RPO or an option game, is leakage.
Yes.
If you get leakage inside, penetration inside, it
Messes
blows up
so
everything.
much stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive
Right.
line.
And
Go
again,
ahead,
one of the critical things about that is the SWAC being such a pass-heavy league. A lot of the defenses in the SWAC, they prioritize edge guys. Now, of course, you got to be able to get to the quarterback, but it's not a whole lot of interior defensive linemen that you think about in the SWAC, and you think about as being dominant. So, you get these guys. If you got a good offensive line who can move guys, and you can establish that inside run game, that inside zone. It opens up everything for you. And I guess my point is that it's not like we're playing a whole lot of teams that's just stacked on the inside, on the defensive line. So hopefully that, kind of bodes in our well for us, because we get enough things that we can establish that inside zone. Once you do that, it opens up this playbook for this offense coordinator.
I think so. I think just the nucleus of the coaching staff, they mesh well with explaining the game, especially on the offensive side of the ball, to our offensive players and getting them in the right positions. And we're going to move players in and out. It's going to be a lot of substituting. So
We are, and to piggyback on what Jerry said, when you look at SWAC football, and this is not a knock, but it's what it is.
It is.
They're not a gap, sound, integrity defense. They're more of a feast or famine. They're going to come at you. They're going to blitz you. If they don't get there, they give up the home run.
Right.
And so that's where this type of offense, where you emphasize that zone read, that zone blocking scheme, moving people, finding creases and cavities, and having backs that can get through there, you can do some damage in the SWAC.
I just think that we have and I keep going back to the staff, but that's where it starts at, because that's who's teaching these guys. You have a staff that the level they've been at, if you don't do it the right way, a long time will turn into a short time quickly, and you'll be on the outside looking in. So, and that's what those guys are constantly reminded of, So the players have bought in too, and that's a huge thing that you can't.
You
Can't go nowhere unless they buy in.
Yeah.
You take a tight end coach, and we're talking about the tight end room. But you take a tight end coach like DJ McCarthy, and a lot of people don't realize DJ McCarthy and Chad Ocho would tell you the reason he was in the league was because of DJ
Brandon
McCarthy.
Marshall.
Brandon
I can
Marshall.
just call the roll.
big-time players that he's coached.
A lot of those boys from LSU.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I. You said tight ends. I said, yeah, but you got DJ McCarthy. That guy is an excellent coach, and
he's going to
he
teach
get results.
He's going to teach great route running by the tight ends. You know how to run these routes, how to free yourself.
So if you haven't been to a practice, which I encourage you to try to get out there to a practice if you can. But DJ runs the practice.
He does,
of course.
I mean, every facet of it, and like I said, everything is fast paced. One thing that you need to know about our offense: if we get a delay a game, something is bad wrong.
Oh yeah.
The mantra is to have the ball snapped every 45 seconds.
That's what they practice for. That's situation football.
From play beginning to
situation
snap
football.
45 seconds have that ball off.
If you want to see the head man getting going crazy with his arms,
that's it. One of the questions
don't come out that huddle in time. Okay.
One of the questions was like, why don't they look at the 45-second clock or the 40-second clock? They don't need to.
Not this team.
Not this ball.
You better have it off in time.
Not this team. I mean,
stay on schedule, as Jerry said.
Yeah, that's what they've been working on, though.
Yeah.
Is let's go fast and aggressive.
Get it done. Next period.
Yep. So.
Defensive line.
See, just looking at our defensive line, I think they're going to cause a lot of havoc, really, because you're going to have two guys on the edge that their motor is. I don't know. I like our defensive line, actually. I like just the way they go.
I will say our two deep is going to be like you won't see a tail off.
No,
you won't see a tail off. And one just new addition out there is already factoring in to know.
He's going to be valuable to us.
Well, having something that we've not had probably in the last 4 years, and that's two edge rushers who can set the edge and bring pressure.
Right.
Yes.
I think we're going to be smaller inside, but we're going to be quick.
Yes.
Very quick. We're going to get off blocks really, really well.
One thing, and I know they see it, which, I wish we would have saw it earlier in some years past, but our linebackers are going to be quicker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know we haven't gotten there yet, but, if they happen to get out of the pocket, which last year they did.
A lot.
And they're quick and they can run.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They can run.
And
that's what I like about it.
They will light you up.
Very, very physical, no doubt about it.
We hope to get, and I know we skipped from D-line to linebackers, but we got to get through it. But we hope to have one of them back and have them back soon. That has been a big question in the chat.
But he's learning life lessons.
He is.
And he got the perfect coach to help him comprehend those lessons. And I wish he was there too, but he has to go to school. Not classes. He got to go to another school.
Right.
And his coach will help him get there.
Yeah.
There are consequences. And you have to pay the price for those consequences. That's life. Okay? That's what it is.
Yep.
And what do I always believe in? Never let a teaching moment pass.
Right.
This is a teaching moment.
It is. And I think it's going to pay dividends.
The Right Reverend Reggie Thomas said, do they have a two-gapper up front? Shout out to our Deputy SWAC Commissioner, Mr. Reggie Thomas. Thanks for tuning in.
Let's go fishing, Reggie.
After the Celebration Bowl, though.
What he really is asking, do we have a hog molly? Here's what he calls a two-gapper,
Deontay Washington.
Yeah. He would
Deontay Washington, the guy here from Texas State.
He would definitely be a legitimate two-gapper.
Yes.
He commands a double team.
Yes. Question was asked.
And that's, that's such a great question. No, that's perfect, and that's going to be critical. We're going to need Washington to stay healthy and produce, but we also need, I think it's DeBala, the guy that was here before and came back, that's playing behind him because, he can't play He can't play 65 snaps a game. So that's going to be critical because we are small across the defensive line. Now, that's modern football. If you look at our defensive line and linebackers, it's almost the same size as a team like Memphis. Right. But, it's modern football. It's not 1998, but you still got to have a guy in the middle who can plug things up, who can be good at short yardage, that free up those linebackers that are undersized but can flat out run. You got to have somebody who can eat up blocks, got to have somebody who can occupy, linemen, so that those guys can be free and run around. As Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was great because he had Tony Siragusa in front of him. Right. He's Ray Lewis, but you still had to have somebody to keep those linemen off you. And so, Deontay Washington, that guy, I think he is critical. I think he'll be more valuable to this defense than even his stats will show up because of what he does in occupying blocks.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's impressive. He really is, no doubt about it.
So we talked about our linebackers. There's a question being posed in the chat over here. What about the stamina of the team? I will just say this to our faithful listener and watcher. You do not want to be called a slacker by Raymond Woody Jr. The punishment is unreal. Let's just say we don't just run in camp.
Very well-conditioned football team. Believe me when I tell you that.
Our conditioning is not just at the end of practice. It's in the duration of practice. Everything is fast-paced. There's no walking on any part of it. Shade.
No.
That's not an option. There's no tents.
I thought we were on a plantation. I thought only thing missing was the cotton.
There's no tents. There's just everything is fast paced. If you don't have the stamina, you're not making the trip or you're not dressing out. I'll just put it like that. If you don't, have the wherewithal. It's 60 minutes of just purity, Yeah.
What did Nolan Richardson call it? 60 minutes of hell.
Yeah.
For Arkansas.
Yes.
That's what this is.
That's what this is. Yeah.
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 So wait, you still at linebacker?
No, unless you got it. No, we're at defensive backs now. Coach Collins.
Okay, so you got an All-Pro, former student at Bethune.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I think we covered linebackers, but
we didn't.
With our system, with our coaching system, we do have outside linebackers. Coach T.J. Jackson was roommates with Michael Vick at Virginia Tech. There's a documentary that Coach put out, but from the West Palm Beach area, the outside linebackers. The outside linebackers, Sparrow. Sparrow's going to be a kid that's.
But let me tell you.
You're going to know that's a football player.
We're finally going to get him on the field.
Yeah.
He is something special.
Yes.
Wherever you put him.
You know what's crazy about Sparrow? That's exactly it right there. You can put him at safety. You can play him at linebacker.
Yes.
You can play him at running back. You can play him at wide receiver. And he'll be one of the best at any one of those.
I tell you what.
He is an athlete.
Let me tell you about one thing you left out. He is also a great trainer and water boy. So he covers the field when he was out for a couple practices and even over there helping the trainers, empty water and all kind of stuff. One of the best team players that you can have. Yeah, he had a little misfortune, during the spring and has really, taken to his brothers on this football team. Mm-hmm. Remarkable young man.
Yeah.
He will have a story one day.
I'm happy for him, though, really, because it's been a long time coming for him with all that talent.
Very.
So. As good as his brother was, who led Jones High to a state runner-up trophy against Miami Northwestern. and his brother went on to play for the University of West Virginia before transferring. The younger one,
right.
is way
That's what
more
I've heard.
gifted. I'm telling you, he is.
That's what I've heard.
Versatility capitalized.
Yeah, but I think we got a good sparrow too, though.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. He's the one.
Yeah.
Those outside linebackers are going to be on point.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we got killed at last year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
They had no speed.
It was.
And couldn't cover ground.
See, when they went in no condition.
Couldn't tackle in space, couldn't close people down.
Well, you got to do that in
Exactly.
practice, too.
I mean, but think about it, though. I mean, we've gone 3-4 years where you wasn't even allowed to tackle in practice. And now we hit.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
pretty
going to
much.
comment on that.
Yeah.
You know,
So
there's none of that stay up.
no. And you don't even get yelled at if you knock somebody down.
If you don't hit somebody, you don't get yelled at.
That's
Don't get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Get off my football field.
If you don't hit somebody.
I mean, I think we're the
Just
only.
soft.
I think we're the only college team around where we don't put our quarterback in a different color jersey.
Hey, you better get down.
You got 2 legs.
Live bullets flying
You got
around.
2 legs.
Because Coach
What happens
said,
when you got a defense 8? That's why Woody said he needed 8 of them.
Right.
Hey Jerry, had you noticed that though? We're the only team that
Yeah.
our quarterbacks don't have different jerseys.
And their numbers are high as can be, too.
Yeah, our quarterbacks 32 and 38.
Let's go there. We'll go back to our defensive backs. Coach Collins.
Well, again, you got an All-Pro, a guy that actually played at Bethune-Cookman. I think he's doing a tremendous job, and he got 2 really good cornerbacks. You spoke of Mr. Hill, and then the kid that transferred from Temple.
Iverson.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Originally was at Florida, University of Florida as a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be pretty strong on the ends. On the
Yeah, corners. Yeah,
Yeah.
on those islands over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
Yeah.
you know, I think last year.
I think-
I'm sorry, Jerry, go ahead.
No, I would say if there's a pair, if you want to have something, I'm trying to think of the right phrase here. If you want to have a tandem on your defense to build around, it's that old Ron Wolf philosophy when he was at Green Bay. You want to have corners who can cover and edge guys who can get to the quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have
good
both of those.
coverage leads to sacks, and pressure leads to interceptions and turnovers. And I think that's, you know, we got to face it. We got a lot of talent on defense, but we're young. We don't have a lot of guys who have a whole lot of
Right.
college playing
Right.
experience.
Right.
Right.
But what we do have, what we are, I think, you know, exceptional, above average for sure, you know, is at the cornerback position and at the edge position. And if you can get to the quarterback and if you can cause turnovers, it makes the rest of your defense better.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that, you know, those guys on those islands, Hill, Robinson, if you can't make a mistake with that guy. If you do, he's gonna make you pay.
He's going to make
And now
pay,
you get somebody on the other side who may be certainly more athletic.
He is.
You know,
Yeah.
But-
And hungry for it. I
No,
mean,
go ahead.
he's so hungry for it. You talk to him after practice and like, it's time to do what we do. You know, that's just Iverson. So, safeties. Coach Gill, Coach David Stuckman.
Well, they were blessed with a really good young coach.
10 years of coaching has
that-
been
that knows the game.
Louisville,
Yeah.
LSU.
He knows the game.
Came to us from Incarnate Word. Those guys are going to be
Yeah, I
size back there too.
Yeah, I
There's
think
great
your
size.
safety's actually going to be really great. I think
Yeah.
they're going to be good.
Yeah.
And you got another safety who used to be a quarterback that's
Right.
going to play some football.
Mr. Franklin.
Mr.
Yeah.
Franklin, yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, I think we don't have all the stars and stuff. We have good players.
Don't need it.
And we got great coaching. So
Don't need
I
it.
think we're going to be great.
Yeah, Johnny Harris's kid who is out of Sanford Seminole High School.
Right.
He's a good-looking kid at safety, 6'2"
Yes.
size.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he'll come down and
What's
put
his
helmet
name?
on. Johnny
Johnny
Harris.
Harris.
Yeah. He wears number 8. He's 6'2", 190. He's out of San Seminole High School. He's a ball player.
Okay. Yeah, he's a big kid.
Yeah,
He's a ball player. What I like about him, he can actually cover too.
Yes, he was.
I mean, he's not just a guy who runs around. He can actually cover.
He can cover.
Yeah.
He can cover.
Yeah, you can put him on top of a tight end, on top of a receiver, and be just fine with him.
Mm-hmm.
Jabari Jordan, who was a transfer from, of all places, Florida A&M.
Florida A&M.
But the kid could play, man.
Yes,
I'm telling you, he's out of Reebok High School in Jacksonville. He's another cover kind of safety. Covers really well. Used to play corner for Florida A&M. So our safeties are not just going to be people back there who don't have instincts for breaking on the football and intercepting football passes.
They got a good coach too.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
They got an excellent coach back there.
Always correcting and always teaching.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have this problem, but just got a message. Florida gifts Utah first down after being issued a violation for having 2 players wearing the number 3 jersey on the field at the same time. I don't think that's going to happen in the maroon and gold too much this year.
I certainly hope not.
Not from what we've seen. Last but not least, our specialists.
Oh, I think we got some really decent kickers. Punt and the kickoff and field goal. The kid from Australia.
Both guys are from the punter and the kicker are from are awesome.
But that young kid that got injured, the kid that got injured, he's going to be an excellent punter too. So I think we set there.
And Coach DJ is going to make sure there.
Of course, that's his team, the special team. That's his team. But I think we're good there.
And we're going to stop people from getting down the field. Yeah,
that was a sore point for us last year. I mean, everybody started at the 45.
That's going to change it.
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, the drills that we've been doing.
Again, all through camp, they practice situation football.
Yes,
which
every phase of it.
Every phase of situation football, special teams, kickoff, inside the 10, on the 20. They did it, and they constantly did it every practice.
Yes.
And give you a name to watch out for, especially on kick blocks, field goals, placements. Mm-hmm. Watch the kid, Anthony Alonso. He's a safety.
Yeah.
He can fly. And he is noted for blocking kicks.
Yeah.
He's out of California, Oakland, California. He is an incredible athlete, football player, offensive or defensive side, but he is a kick blocker extraordinaire. Watch him.
That's who to watch. Well, there you have it. That's our preseason evaluation of the 2023 Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football team. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Without further ado, I want to bring someone on who is near and dear to all of our hearts. We call him Dan the Man, playoff guy.
That's my guy.
Dan, welcome to the Hail Wildcats X's. I'm sorry, I was going to say the X's and O's show, but it's still the X's and O's show with the Gridiron Game and the Gridiron Show. Mm-hmm. So welcome. Glad to have you.
What I really want to know is, are you guys going to have the fishing grits that you guys had during the spring and the that stuff was amazing.
Hey, Dan, people already refer to us as the fishing grit people.
and Jerry as the fry daddy.
Well, next time, I'm gonna put cheese in the grits next time. I'm gonna get a different type.
Oh my! I would get out of my wheelchair and get there.
We're gonna get
I'm looking at that.
We're gonna get you some, Dan. We'll have it for you.
I
Dan.
appreciate that.
We will definitely have it.
I appreciate that.
I know how much he likes that fish.
Yes, definitely. Welcome to the show, Dan. Man, we're glad to have you on.
Glad to be. I learned. Matter of fact, I learned a lot. Right? So,
Dane, kind of breaking up a little bit. I think the Rattlers are trying to jam your signal from the hospital or something. Try.
Okay.
All right, that's better, man. We got you.
I just said it's like, back in the day, COVID, I wouldn't pass, but now, with the guys who I've been hearing from you guys, I'm going to pass the torch until they can fix me up.
Definitely. Well, we're going to hope to get you fixed up here pretty soon and have you back down here in Daytona ready to go and eating fish and grits and all the above.
There you go.
We'll add some baked beans in there, too, for you.
There you go. But just, I'm still going to be helping out a little. I can't do much with the 2023 team, but Larry, Wesley, and I were talking about, and also, too, with Brian and Bryce, this is the 50th anniversary of one of the greatest teams ever, the 1973 team that won the SIAC championship and beat FAMU for the third time in school history and the first time in 19 years. And they beat them up in Tallahassee to boot. So it's going to be fun telling these stories. And and it's just amazing the heritage here. Willie Collins, with Nick Collins' dad, was the quarterback for that team. So there's a lot of history and a lot of these stories to be told in this 100th season of Wildcat football.
Yeah, I believe it or not, Willie Collins was my travel roommate on football games. We were both freshmen coming in, and we were roommates for 4 years on the road.
It's going to be great to have you guys, as we go down the history lane, these 100 years, and I know that the professor has been studying, and I know, Dan, you have a lot of information, so we look forward to hearing from you guys.
Well,
and
we found the names of the 1923 team, so I'm trying to find out more about these guys. I know Dr. Bethune's adopted son was one of the players. Sumner Hutchinson's dad was one of the players. But I want to know what happens to these other 13 players. So that's things you can do when you're not at practice every day. I'm going to have to leave that to you guys now. I trust you guys.
Dan, we talked last night, and I got to tell you this. You woke me up this morning because a name of a person who's one of those original players, in fact, who scored the very first points for Bethune-Cookman, is a guy that I knew. Preston Pearson.
Yep.
Lived two doors down from my cousins in Jacksonville after he retired.
Really?
And just an outstanding guy. He died in 1995, but I got to spend a lot of time with him. He was originally out of New Smyrna, Florida, but knew him really, really well. And how many times we used to sit and talk football. And I didn't realize until many years later, that he was on that first football team.
That's great.
And then he came back to coach and won. He came back to coach and won a title.
He coached.
And that's what I love about this program. It's like, you think about it, and this is something I looked at it because, like I said, I can remember when, David Lee Roth was in Van Halen. I can remember seeing Purple Rain in the movie theater, but 30 years ago, I'm a student at Bethune-Cookman. I'm writing Raymond Woody's freshman bio, and now all of a sudden, here he is, the head coach. Yeah. So, those kind of stories are great.
Absolutely.
They are very good.
It just means we're getting older and we're getting better, okay?
and the kids are all right.
Yes, they are.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So, yeah, we look forward to having you on, Dan, and having that history moment. We look forward to speaking to you every show if we can make it happen, and bring us that history moment to the Gridiron Show. So.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let me say this before we go. This is Jerry Bell. Yeah, I know you're looking forward to that fish.
Come on, man.
Dan, I've had a half a dozen to a dozen people reach out to me, ask me what's going on with Dan, man. People are I just want to let you know, man. A lot of people are thinking about you and praying for you and checking up on you. They're asking me about you. But I wanted you to know that people are reaching out and they're asking. So you're well thought of amongst Wildcat fans.
And they
I
are
love this place, and I'll tell you the one quick story because I know you guys are going out there. When you're in Dr. Bethune's room in the Smithsonian and you're wearing Bethune-Cookman gear, you realize you're part of something, and you're part of something great from the past to present, and then we're helping build the future. So, Hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.
Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats. And thank you for that insight, Dan.
And take good care of yourself, my friend.
Yes,
we'll
definitely,
be talking.
Definitely, Dan. We look
Okay,
forward.
but dang it, fish is in the diet, so I gotta have some of that.
We got you
We're
taken
gonna
care of.
take care of
Say no more. Say no more.
You got it.
All right,
Okay.
Dan. All right, take care, man, and we'll
All right.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Guys, I know we gotta wrap it here pretty shortly, but what is we can't talk about that too hot. You know, Jerry is kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh boy, here we go.
Do you want to
Yes.
do you want to take your post down that you made towards me and your brother and a couple of other Travis? Or are you gonna keep it up?
No,
Oh, okay.
I stand behind it. I knew what was going to happen tonight, but that's why I had to put it out there. Misery loves company.
I'm not gonna say too much though, because I'm praying about Sunday. But yeah, our Wildcats go into Simmons Stadium on this Saturday against a pretty decent Memphis team, guys. What is the game plan to win that game?
My quick keys are this, and having read up on Memphis, they returned decent players. They lost a whole lot.
They lost a lot.
Particularly all of their wide receivers. They got 2 or 3 good running backs. But here's the deal: they make their living, Daryl, off of turnovers. They're a feast and famine kind of ball club, and they're counting on the turnovers. If Bethune-Cookman does not turn the football over and does not self-destruct, we're going to be in this football game for a lot longer than people think.
And I liken this game to UTEP. You don't know.
Yeah.
Let's look at it this way. We've been at practice. We have seen some things, but we still do not know what to see out of Joe Garbino and Robert Wembley.
Yeah.
We don't know. And even being that we see some things and like, okay, that'll work. We also have seen that, the ball hadn't been turned over much in practice.
Yeah.
But as a team, you look at Coach Garbino, where he comes from. Like,
It's not where you
that's
come
even
from.
harder.
It's not where
that's
you come
even
from.
harder
It's
to
where
get
you're
film
going,
on, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I-
Yeah.
I-
I see what you're saying. Now
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
And I think we go in knowing, having watched the practices, that there is a high premium on ball security.
Yes.
Throwing that
Yes.
football
Yes.
away rather than
Yes.
throwing an interception. And so I think if we can be in a situation where we don't give them short fields
Right.
and don't self-destruct in that situation, we'll be in this football game very much like we were in that UTEP football game.
Yeah.
I got news for y'all. I got news for you guys. I'm sorry. Memphis is not UTEP.
No, we're not. We're not.
And I don't mean that. I'm not saying that. Like, I do expect us to be competitive.
Yes.
I think that's the goal. We want to. In my mind, I want to see our competitiveness, because you're right. There's so many unknowns, but some of that is, how are our guys going to respond when you got a guy in a different color uniform? It's like we don't know how they're going to respond yet. But Memphis is really, really good at the line of scrimmage. That's been their MO. They've been really good in the line of scrimmage. They put players out there, and so if our guys can hold up well, because their offense, that offensive line travel, it's always there. But if our guys can hold up, look reasonable, that's what I'm not measuring whether or not we win. I'm measuring how we compete. I'm measuring how do we do the things that are in our control. Do the guys run the right route? The guys execute? Do we get guys on the ground? I think at the end, it's a bridge a little bit too far because they got 22 extra scholarships, right?
Right.
But are we going to look, and I think the UTEP comparison, if I understand you correctly, is we looked sharp in that game. We competed in that game. We looked like we belong in that game. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that in addition to that, UTEP knew nothing about us.
Well, I'm saying the same thing. They didn't know anything about us. But then what turned the ball game around was our undisciplinedness in that ball game.
Exactly.
And I don't think you're going to see that.
Exactly.
Jared, what I'm really saying is I know the bridge is a little steep with Memphis and Bethune, but I want them to earn everything they get and have to drive that football. I don't want to help them by giving them short fields and turning that football over. If we can do that.
That Miami game we played, and
yes. Yeah. And the fact of that matter is, and we know how our head coach is. If you're going to be on my staff, you got to coach. If you're getting a penny, you got to coach. And I want our staff and our players to make Memphis coach.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah, I want them to have to, X's and O's straight down.
I think the coaching and the discipline is going to make them coach.
Yes,
it's going to make Memphis earn everything.
But you got to stay with it.
Yeah,
you got to stay with it for 60.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to have a problem staying with it.
Right.
Because I think our coach is not going to allow us to quit. No. And I don't think those kids are quitting.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they'll quit anyway.
No.
But I just think going into Memphis, I think we have our heads on correctly, and we got a much better coaching staff than what we had going into UTEP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I see that.
So that was our comparison.
That's the only comparison.
Yeah. I heard Justin. Okay, no, I get it. That's good, and I do want to see. I think we're gonna. I want us to go out there and represent ourselves well.
And I think we will. I really believe we will do that.
Yeah. You think it'll be one of those things where the Memphis fans are still nervous late in the third quarter?
Jerry, that's my whole thing. I believe if those things that I said, no turnovers, and we're able to make them go to a long distance, I think we have a competitive football game at halftime. I really believe that.
I know we're not playing the SWAC this week, but I want to come out of that game with the SWAC on notice.
Yeah, I think.
Like, wait a minute, we gotta, because there have been some things said, and we all have heard it that
I saw I don't know where it was. Somebody made a prediction on one of it was on HBCU. Looking at all the games,
right.
They figured the game to be 41-24. Memphis, that's not bad.
That's respectable.
Yeah, that's very respectable.
That's very respectable. I saw that yesterday.
Yeah,
I'll live with that.
Very respectable. Closing comments. I know we've taken you down 2023 season previews, and yes, fans, we know you didn't get a chance to call in on tonight, but we have to do our season preview and or our season premiere, we'll call it, and get all that stuff in. So come next week, Savannah State,
we'll be able to get all
we want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear from you, and definitely talk Wildcat football. Ralph?
Well, I mean, I will be in Memphis. I wanna see it.
How are you getting to Memphis? Let me real quick.
How am I getting to Memphis? Are you flying, Larry? Are you flying the plane? Well, we're gonna go. We flying. But I just want to see what I saw in practice, apply it in that game. That's what I'm expecting. I think Bethune is going to play a hard-nosed game. I think we're going to be disciplined and we're going to be coached well. That's what I'm looking for. And then take the check and bring it back to Daytona.
425. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how well what I've seen in practice transfers to the game. A very competitive football team, like I said, a very efficient ball club that plays to the whistle, that will not beat itself, that's going to make you earn what you get. I want to come out of this, if possible, without any injuries. As
we definitely have to.
Absolutely, we really do. We have to have that, and just to give a good account and to borrow what you said, Daryl. I want to put the SWAC on notice.
Yes.
I want them to recognize you may have us down in the cellar, but we're going to be a force to reckon with before this is all said and done, and you're going to find that out.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Jerry.
Yep, no, that's it right there. I mean, the last time we played a football game in Tennessee, we embarrassed ourselves.
Yes.
We went up to Nashville last year and didn't show up. I want to come back from Tennessee this Saturday, chest out, we get it. No more victories, but you can see a lot of things, a lot of growth. I want to come back with putting the SWAC on notice, but also being able to circle, a few players, say, that guy looks like what we saw in practice translated on the field. This guy's like, hey, this guy, we were kind of trying to still figure out, but he showed up and he looks like he's going to be a player. So, I want to come back with collectively as a team, proud of the team because we showed up well, but I also want some guys to really flash to show that no matter who they're playing against, they're gonna stand out. And so when we do get into SWAC play, we recognize that these are going to be the guys that carry us forward in the season.
One last caveat that I will say that, I just want to let the fans know what kind of preparation our team does. So, of course, our Cats are not in Memphis as of yet. They still have to travel out to the stadium tomorrow morning to do a walkthrough, come back to campus, shower, and then head over to the airport to fly out. So that's the kind of preparation that
we're going to get a practice in the morning. This is a business trip, okay?
This is a business trip.
And that's exactly the way you
And it ain't just because we play in Memphis.
That's exactly right.
So that's just some of the stuff that, as fans, that it's great to see the preparations that our Cats are putting into being the football team that we know they're going to be. So that they're going to be.
Yeah. Hey, let me say this real quickly, Daryl, too. I think there's something else that I'm happy about. Got to shout out to the city of Daytona for this and, the partnership. There were some renovations done at the stadium. And so you talk about doing things like going to the stadium, having a walkthrough before you go into a game. Some of the renovations included, the locker room. So got new lockers in there. So, that stuff may not matter to some old heads like you and I, but to these college-age kids, going out there to the stadium and actually having a locker room that looks like a collegiate locker room, feeling like you're part of a program, that stuff matters. It matters to, again, it was nothing for us when we were coming up. But for these kids, that matters. That feels like big-time football. It feels like they're part of something special. And so there are a lot of things that's going on that you kind of tried to paint a good picture of. Well, you have painted an excellent picture of, throughout. But there's even things like that. Like you got your own locker. It's like you're going out to a stadium that looks like a reputable stadium. So when you go into somebody else's house, you're not in awe. You're used to this now. So, there's a lot of things going on around this program, that we're hoping help translate into wins on the field. That's one of them.
Most definitely. For all our fans out there, there's still time to travel to Memphis if you're interested in going on the Memphis trip. www.letsgowildcats.org. Jump on the plane with Ralph. Larry will be the co-pilot. Miss Emma will be the pilot, but we're going to Memphis and we're going to get there. So for Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, for Fry Daddy, Mr. Jerry Bell, and for the Diesel Man, Mr. Cruse, I'm your host, Darold Williams. We look forward to seeing you next week, 8 p.m., same place, same station, on the Hail Wildcats Gridiron Club. Hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater.